Good afternoon, and thank you very much for this opportunity. Normally, the afternoon session is not a good session to speak because most people after a heavy lunch would want to fall asleep, yes. But after that invigorating speech by Thai chairman, I think everybody is awake, at least for the time being. I have had the experience over the last 25 years of working in the ASEAN region and beyond in various capacities. And I have done quite detailed research on the Indian diaspora business community, as well as the Chinese and other business communities. And so much has been said about why the Chinese are investing in China, the overseas Chinese, and the Indians are not doing it as well as they should. I have to explain to you the reasons because I was born and brought up in Singapore, which is a small country where 76% of the population is Chinese and Indians at the moment form about 9%. And having lived in a Chinese society and seen the Chinese at work in the ASEAN countries, I must share some things with you which will enlighten you on why the Chinese work differently from the Indians, at least the overseas Chinese. Now, if you take, we hear so much about this colonization of India and how it has destroyed India and so on. But I wonder how many of you know that the Chinese in the 19th century were practically destroyed by the colonialists who grew opium in India and in Singapore, Malaysia and the region and exported it for profit to China and kept the Chinese as a drug population. They were also conquered by the Japanese, and a lot of atrocities were committed against them. But in spite of all that, they moved out and they formed a communist government. Now, I'm not supporting the communist government, but I'm supporting a strong discipline. Yesterday we heard a lady talk about discipline. And the Chinese historically have always been able to look up to a leader who will fend for them, provide for them, and they will follow instructions. They don't have the word Q in their vocabulary, and I think that makes a big difference. Now, if you try to imagine the overseas Chinese, all of you are familiar with Chinese noodles. If you take a bunch of noodles and throw it in the air and it landed, the strands, each end of the strand can represent different countries, and you will find that the Chinese who are in these countries, somehow the businessmen have connections with the businessmen in the other countries. If I may take ASEAN as an example, the business community in Thailand, in Philippines, the Chinese business community, in Indonesia, they all have a network where they actually do business with each other. Now the difference between China and India is that when the communists took over, and it was more than 45, 50 years, everything was run by the government, there was no entrepreneurship. But these overseas Chinese, like the Sindhis who left India, as it was in the old days, and survived and grew, not only in Southeast Asia, but more importantly in the Caribbean and other places, used their lack of resources, but found new resources that they could work on, and this is exactly what the Chinese did. They are minorities in the ASEAN countries, but they control the economy. And they don't really get into politics because the economy is sufficient for them to control politics. So, in the old days when the Chinese warlords, forgive me for digressing a little bit, but this is a very important point, when they wanted to conduct war in China, they will open a war chest and ask people to contribute, and they will employ soldiers, go out and fight, and whatever plunder they brought back, they will share with the people who put money into the war chest. And that's exactly what they did when China opened up. The big guys went and got projects for port development, airport development, highways, technoparks, setting up industries. But they didn't keep it to themselves. They came back and they told their fellow Chinese businessmen around the region that here is an opportunity. Do you want to participate? So with 3 million, 7 million, 5 million, you can go into a project that's as big as $700–800 million in order to do the project. And everybody profits. Now, my understanding and my study of the Indians the business community, is that they're very successful in all these countries that you have heard about. But like the noodles, if I try to picture the Indians, they are like the columns that you draw for Diwali. You know, so you have one column where it's a concentric circle of designs, and so you have the Sindhis, the Gujaratis, the Punjabis, and what have you. They get together for maybe for Diwali or other festivals. More recently, we have heard about business associations that include a lot of other people. But usually, they tend to stay to themselves. There is not that kind of networking that you will find among the Chinese. And that makes a big difference. Because then, you are concentrating only on a small circle of business and small circle of people, and you cannot go beyond what is required, for example, in a country like India. So if you want to talk really about the title is Economic Progress in the Diaspora, Making an Impact. How can you make an impact if one or two people want to come and put up investments, unless we can work together as a group? And even in a small country like Singapore with 400,000 Indians, we have 96 Indian organizations, cultural and so on. But the Chinese have clan associations which they put under the umbrella of a federation of clan associations, and they can plan their activities. In 1988, I tried to bring the Indian Chambers of Commerce in the Asia-Pacific region together. And we started off on a good note. But after that, we couldn't move it because when they went back, they forgot all about it. It is very traditionally Indian. But the Chinese who saw what was happening did the same thing and started a global Chinese entrepreneurs conference. And every 2 years, they have been going, gathering people from around the world. And they not only invest in China, they also invest among their own countries. Now, so here, I don't think that the Indian diaspora should only look at investing in India, because at the end of the day, a businessman will go where he feels comfortable, where he sees the profit can be made, and where he can find partners that he can trust and he can work with. So I think the next step that we should look at is not just about investing in India. And I'm not saying don't do it, you should do it, because there's certainly a lot of opportunities. I think you should look at investing among the diaspora Indian countries as cross-border trade and investment. With the encouragement of the Economic Development Board in Singapore, in 2006 I launched the Global Indian Business Summit, which brought the diaspora Indian business communities together. The selected people talked about how they survived and grew their business in the countries that they come from, and they talked about opportunities in their own countries. You'd be surprised, but during the conference and at breaks, coffee breaks, lunch breaks, dinner, they were talking to themselves, to each other, about how can I bring my business to your country, or I'd like your business to come to my country because there's something that we can do together. So you find partnerships are formed immediately. We invited the Chinese, and they started attending this. Then we invited the Malays from Malaysia and Indonesia. And soon, we found that the network was growing very big, and it became a global diaspora business summit, which brings together entrepreneurs from different corners of the globe. So what I'm trying to tell you is, at the end of the day, we have to find a way to bring the businessmen together and tap on the strengths that they have. Now, Indonesia is a very good example of, I can give you one person who went there, he's a Sindhi, and he found that the Indonesians like the old Hindi movies and the songs and so on, because their movie industry also is quite similar. So he was able to get the franchise, and he dubbed the whole movie into the Indonesian Bahasa, Indonesian language, and he also started translating the songs so that they could understand the meaning. And when he found that it was popular, he started making movies in Indonesia based on the Indian movies, and he made millions, and he's a very popular figure in Indonesia. There are many more like him. So the business that you do does not have to be only in terms of bricks, manufacturing stuff. It could be also in the service industry. And what is important is to see how we can tap on these people so that they are able to link with us in providing partnership. So if I were to talk about the progress of the Indian diaspora, they have done well in Malaysia. In Singapore and Malaysia, they were mostly traders, but a lot of them went into real estate, into estates and so on, and now they have started manufacturing. In the Philippines, we have people who are manufacturing, but they're mostly traders in textiles and other areas. In Thailand also, they're very strong in textiles, they've gone into manufacturing. One of the changes that the Indian diaspora has to do is to move from the trading to the service industry, which is more modern, getting into IT related, getting into manufacturing of not just high-tech, but value-added goods that the rest of the region could use, because if you sit in a developed country or a highly developed developing country, then you have opportunities for the region. And this is something that the Indian diaspora communities should do. So it's not a lack of opportunities. I think it's a lack of a malaise that exists among the Indian business community to survive and do as well as they can. And I think they also have to get out of their selfish mentality, because they think that their secret should not be known by someone else. By working with another Indian, they're going to get cheated, or that Indian will get bigger, and why should I let him get bigger when he's a small guy at the moment? These are all things that do not come to the mind of the Chinese business community. They look at each other as partners, and they try to leverage on the strengths of each other so that they can grow much bigger. And today, you will find that the overseas Chinese community controls the wealth of the ASEAN region and beyond. They have discovered that Africa is a place that they ignore. And today, they are slowly displacing the Indians in the African countries, and even for those from the Caribbean, believe it or not, they're coming there. A lot of them get support from the Chinese government because they can push a lot of the Chinese goods in these places. So, where the Indians have become comfortable and they think that they are established and entrenched in those countries, you will find that very soon you're going to get displaced. And this is really just like the old story of the rabbit and the tortoise. Because you're so comfortable, you think that nothing is going to happen. You've been there for a long time, maybe 2 generations, but these people are coming in. And you can find the inroads that they're making. They have the support of the China government, which gives a lot of money to build highways and roads. And you can see that the thinking in a lot of the African countries is changing. So, if the Indian diaspora is going to be successful, then I think the first step is to have a mindset change. 2, it has to learn to work with each other in a more effective way. Forming an association of doctors or engineers, to meet regularly and discuss professions is one thing. But to tap onto a business organization of Indians, which has leverage in different parts of the world, and trying to see how some of this can be translated into a global networking business, that is going to make the difference to the Indian community, because then they are in a position also to come back and invest in their own country if they feel that the conditions for investment are conducive to them as a businessman getting a return on investment. I think it is foolish to imagine that anybody will come for sentimental reasons to invest in any country. So it doesn't matter if it is Indians in the Caribbean, Indians in North America, Indians in Southeast Asia or Europe. It also would be for Indians who want to invest in India. I can actually go on and tell you a lot more, but I just want to say that having done a study of the Indian business community in various parts of the world, there is a great strength. If you go to Portugal and Spain, there is a community of Indian businesses that are doing extremely well. You can go to Ireland and find a business community there. I met some people who are from the Netherlands. They are all there. So, to wind up, I think basically what you have to do is try and open your minds to the ability to work with your own people in enlarging your organizations, enlarging your business, and tapping on the opportunities that exist in different parts of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Talking about investments in different